Pretty Nerdz. 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 Pretty Nerdz.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Pretty Nerdz podcast. This is your girl Falan DeAnn.
And this is your girl, Nay.
So how's everything been going?
Pretty good, Got a lot of things kind of in the works. Currently working on my fitness line. Just really been focused on that, trying to get that, off the ground. Takes a lot of work, a lot of checking on samples and different things like that. But hopefully soon come, been putting the work to get it done. So crossing my fingers. But since I'm so passionate about fitness, I figured why not, What about yourself?
Nothing, just over here with the newborn.
Mommying it up.
Yes.
Oh, yay. I honestly cannot wait till this little virus thing is over and it's safe so I can see the baby.
And we are coming up that way. I was like, I'm not staying in the house forever. So we would definitely be up that way.
Yeah.
So.
Exciting. I can't wait. I want to see the little baby. I saw his pictures and I was like, oh, he's so cute and I want to pinch his little cheeks. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm in total mode right now. So I guess we can go ahead and get into this week's hot topics. Where do you want to start?
Do we have light ones? Yeah, the Emmys. That's light.
Yeah, okay. We can start with the Emmys. So the Emmys aired on Sunday, right? Yeah, okay, on Sunday. Definitely some good moments that occurred at the Emmys this year. Some surprises, some that were not too many surprises anyway. The Watchmen, which was the series headed by Regina King, pretty much did pretty well. They won for the show. The gentleman who played why is my mind going blank on right now who he played? Mr. something. My mind is blank right now. I can't remember. But y'all know he's a superhero from the comic books, and my mind is just out of. But he won as well, and Regina King, of course, she killed it in The Watchmen, so she won. And also Zendaya for her role on Euphoria as Rue. She won the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series. She's the youngest ever she's 23, I think? I don't know. She's somewhere in there, 23, 24, I think. I think 23, though. But yeah, like really good moments all the way around, I would say. Yeah?
Yeah, and everybody was so cute. And then, of course, my girl Issa Rae. I love her.
Yeah, she looked gorgeous. I saw that the cast of Insecure all kind of got together and did the whole Emmy experience together. We got to see that the woman who plays Condola, is actually pregnant in real life. Of course, people was out there going ham, acting silly, but so I guess for sure, she will definitely be pregos in that next season. Trying to also keep it light. I guess good news for fans of Orlando Brown, or even if you aren't a fan, if you just wanted to see him kind of do better, it looks like he has kicked his crystal meth addiction, kicked his other drug habits as well, has admitted, kind of moved away from social media. It's looking like he has gotten back into the church, found religion, is just really trying, getting his life together. I saw some pictures of him, some video of him. He looked like he's put on weight again. He's looking all around. He looked healthier and better in the little clip that I saw of him. So that's always good news to hear.
Yeah, and I hope he stay on that track because, yeah.
He was going through it. He was absolutely going through it. I guess Also, in maybe good news, I mean, listen, it's good news, but at the same time, it's irritating news because now y'all ass is gonna be acting plumb fool, and I ain't gonna be able to find no Pine Sol in the damn stores. But according to the CDC, which take it however you want it, they are now claiming that Pine Sol it kills coronavirus on surfaces. So
Surfaces. Don't be out here trying to drink the shit. Oh, you can already imagine
the people.
that it's gonna be some dumb ass people gonna be like, oh, let me ingest it. Like I was still tripped out. I read a report recently where doctors were still giving out the warning of not drinking bleach. I'm like, didn't we go through this like months ago? Why are we y'all still having patients admitted for that? You know what?
Special. That's all you could say. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm just irritated because I actually like Pine Sol. I like to clean with Pine Sol. I like the smell. You know what I'm saying? They're like Pine Sol and Clorox. The little Clorox wipes are like my favorite. And this pandemic did piss me off because y'all be outrageous, and y'all got to go and buy up the whole goddamn store. Y'all irritating.
I went to clean out my desk at work just to get like, because I knew I was like, man, I got a big bottle of hand sanitizer, like the good kind of hand sanitizer. I need to go and get it. And I found some Clorox wipes in my desk. I was like, look at God. My Clorox wipes. It smells so good. I was like, I remember when I bought these.
It's sad that we have to look. Oh man. I'm telling you, I was thankful though that like right before the pandemic hit, my parents had like this Sam's little thing or whatever like that. And so they always would be like, what do you guys need from Sam's or whatever to kind of distribute to me and my brother. And I always, me and my brother love those little Clorox. I was like, get some Clorox wipes, whatever. So my parents got us like a couple little things. So thankfully I've been able to make it through with my Clorox wipes, but I'm running low, so I'm getting irritated now. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to put up with these people, man.
Listen.
What else we got? I guess that's pretty much it for like the lighter topics. We can kind of move into the foolishness. I guess we can do the quick hitter though, obviously. Ruth Ginsburg, the Supreme Court justice, she held out as long as she could, but she did ultimately succumb and pass away. Obviously, prayers and condolences to her family. But it's been ever since, and literally, she just literally passed a couple of days ago. And it's sad the state of the country that we live in, that you can't even really mourn somebody, or her family can't even have time to mourn because it's just turned into like political cannon fire all over the news.
Yeah. I feel like she should have just bowed out like a lot of years ago. And I understand the reason why she didn't, but I'm like, she took a huge gamble and lost. Because I'm like, you should just let Obama replace you. When you first found out you were sick, thinking that, oh, Hillary was going to replace you, and it's this whole feminist thing, and, that would be good for, like, history, which it would have been. Like, oh, it's the first woman president, and she's going to name a Supreme Court justice. And I'm like, that was just a hard gamble because we have an idiot. And then you have other idiots behind the idiot that's like, and they so fucking hypocritical. That's what I just boils my fucking blood.
Yeah.
Because Obama, I think
go ahead.
It was like 8 months. Obama was like 8 months before he was to leave office, and they wouldn't let him do a Supreme Court justice. But now you're literally we're less than 2 months out.
Correct.
From election, and you're like, oh yeah, we're ready to confirm a Supreme Court justice. What the hell?
Exactly. I hope that the people, people are watching and people are really kind of regardless of whatever party you support, or you know what I mean, they're really seeing how much us as people don't matter to them and their politics. You know what I mean? Regardless of whatever party you support, you should not be okay with them making, rushing through and picking a Supreme Court justice just so that they can have the Supreme Court be in their favor. You know what I mean? They should, in all consciousness, wait until after the election. So that way, whoever the people pick as president, at least we know that they're, and that president goes on to pick the Supreme Court justice. At least we know that our voice in some kind of way plays some kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And just the due diligence part of it, because it's like you take months and months to research this person to make sure their background is clean, nothing comes up. And then how do you do that in like a month time span? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, it just seemed like it's going to be rushed. It's going to be shitty, which this whole presidency has shown basically the same thing. But I don't know. It's just, yeah, that shit just boiled my blood. I was like, well, we'll do what the Democrats was going to do. How you going to do what the Democrats was going to do when you shot down Obama doing it and he had a way longer time span and even, gave viable candidates. And I'm like, at this point, you cannot tell me Trump has done enough research to know one viable candidate for Supreme Court justice.
Correct.
Which might work out in our favor.
Child, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's just been a whole complete mess. And I just really hope that people are paying attention, because again, if they do push this through, then I hope that y'all are looking at those representative seats, those Senate seats, and that are coming up for election. And if they were part of the people who voted to push it through, get them out. Get them out. You know what I mean? Point blank and period.
Yeah.
I guess kind of not really political, but kind of staying in that forefront. We have seen that the state of Louisville has declared a state of emergency ahead of the Breonna Taylor decision. It's said to come down sometime today. It's already about 7:00 now. So I'm assuming if it comes down, it may come down maybe tomorrow morning at this point. I don't know, because I really doubt they will wait to release the decision in like the wee hours where people can go out and if something, you know what I mean? So I assume maybe with it being so late that they may push it till tomorrow. I don't know, but either way, the state has declared a state of emergency. It's made some people nervous. I've seen other people say don't be nervous about it. It's just precaution. But I don't know. I don't know which way to feel about it.
I'm nervous about it because I'm like, it makes me think like, oh, when we, say this, they gonna tear some shit up. So
yeah,
go ahead and bring in the National Guard to kind of keep stuff under wraps as much as possible.
Yeah. The whole Breonna Taylor thing is just been weighing heavy on me, and we're starting to see more and more things, come to light as we get closer and closer to this decision. We reported a couple of shows ago about the family receiving the settlements. I saw come to light one of the officer who was shot in the leg, who was injured on that. He wrote a letter to the police department and to all, his fellow officers, basically condemning, Breonna Taylor, saying that it's a shame that we're being placed on trial, and these criminals are being you know what I mean? Like all kind of just disparaging shit. And I'm just like, excuse me, sir. Like just, it's just been weighing heavy on me.
And I guess it's like when you think about like police, not even just like the officers dealing with Breonna Taylor, but when you see like NYPD, all of them feel like they're being persecuted because we want you to uphold the oath that you took when you were sworn in. It's like, we're not asking you to be superheroes, to be gods, to be anything other than what you were sworn in to be. But I'm like, you have this whole gang mentality, this larger than life persona, or you can't be touched. And now that people are coming to their senses and saying like, hey, you're fucking up and you're fucking up majorly and holding you accountable. We got more cameras, people are recording, and we actually see you. It's not, oh, it's your word against, like, we're police officers. This is what we said happened. But we're actually seeing you. And it's like now they feel like they're being taken to the cross or something. It's like, you're not being persecuted for something that you didn't do. You did this and you were wrong.
Exactly.
It's weird as fuck to me. It's like they real life get on the news crime. It's like, we're being treated in just, bro, we just saw you run into people.
Big facts.
What the fuck?
We saw you hold somebody down and choke and kill them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Like, we just pulling this out of thin air. I'm like, we actually see you doing this. And for the life of me, you can't say, and that's why I don't operate on this whole, where there's good cops, there's bad cops. No, there's a whole culture of bullshit. So no matter how much you say, okay, it's good cops, it's bad cops, how do you tell the difference when no one is being held accountable? The quote unquote good cops are basically pushed out. So what's left?
Right. And not only that, you have so many good cops who remain silent. So if you remain in silent, are you really good?
Right, you're complicit in the BS, like, because you want to go with the status quo. Like,
Yeah.
And that's why I don't operate on that whole, oh, we need more black officers. Not necessarily. Because if you're going to get in the community and be anti-black and on that bullshit, it's not needed.
Big fact. Kind of staying in the realm of like police and all of that jazz. We saw Aunt Becky, Lori Loughlin. She was sentenced in the whole college admission scandal to 2 months in jail. And it has come out that she gets to actually pick where she will serve. And obviously people felt a way about it. People felt like it was, of course, white privilege. But your boy Gilbert Arenas, he decided to, he decided to get on his little soapbox and say that no, it was not white privilege, that it was actually famous privilege, because he had when he was going through all his situations, he also got to prove, I guess, he went into way more detail than, in my opinion, he should have.
Listen.
Shit, he'd be lucky if he don't catch a case from it.
Right, because he was like, he told his PO he wasn't going back, or he wasn't coming for a visit, he wasn't doing drug tests. And I'm like, so you just gonna put somebody's job at stake to prove a point when you could have just been silent?
Facts.
Because I'm like, there wouldn't have been something that I would have confirmed or anything, because I'm like, shit, she did you a favor. Because she could have upheld it and been like, hey, he didn't come for drug tests.
Yeah.
So it was just, of course, him being weird and shit. And I'm like, it's still, I mean, no matter how you want to look at it, oh, yeah, it's famous, you got out of doing the same thing. But I'm like, there is an underlining white privilege to that, because I'm like, she got 2 fucking months, when we know what was it in Connecticut or Massachusetts, where a lady did a similar thing just to get her child into a better school district. And this is public education, which is free. And she got sentenced to like 5 or 7 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, we're not talking, like that's a comparison that everyone sees, and it's obvious, and you come in here with your bullshit. Go find you something to do.
Well, it's typical of him, though. It's typical. So definitely not surprised on that. And definitely wasn't surprised by the whole Lori Loughlin thing either. In all honesty, I don't even really expect her to serve out that full 2 months. I'd be surprised if she doesn't do maybe a week or 2 and get out on good behavior. They'll probably be like, the jail is overcrowded, or, COVID or whatever. And she'll be out. So I don't really expect much from this at all.
I'm with you. Like, it is what it is at this point. And it'd be like when it comes down to shit like that, be like USC, be like, you paid your money just for your daughter to go to USC. But I don't know. Maybe because I don't hold it in that high of a regard.
But I don't get is that what does she need to, like, she could have literally just let her daughter, pay tuition like
Right.
everybody else. You know what I mean? Like that was the part I didn't get. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you're rich. You could have just paid tuition. Why did you need her to get a scholarship?
And that's what I was like, and you paid a huge lump sum of money. It wasn't like that like you didn't pay a lot. You paid a lot of money to do this. So why you just didn't fucking pay the tuition? And you are a resident of the state, not saying that USC is cheap because it's not, but at least you get in-state tuition. I didn't understand it at all. I was like, what the fuck?
It didn't make no sense at all. So yeah, it is what it is on that regard as well. In other news, Bobby Schmurda, he was denied parole, so it's looking like they're saying he's going to have to serve out the remainder of his sentence and will not be released until late December 2021. It sucks. It definitely sucks for him, especially when you look at the Tekashi situation. You see Tekashi running around. But I guess, at least you can say that he was a man about he took his bid, he did it. He took an extra bid for Roddy. So, that's all you can say to that. Hopefully he hold his head and, he get out when he get out, and hopefully the people that he held down do the same for him when he come back out. That's all you can say on that,
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah. He could definitely have to be in for way, 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 way long. Even though he's been in for shit. When did that song come out? That was what? 09? 2010? I don't know. It was some years ago. Shit. I'm trying to think about. I don't know. He been in there for a good like 7-8 years now. I feel like 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know. He been locked down for a good minute. You know what I mean? But like I said, he could have did what Tekashi did and got up there and snitched, and so he wouldn't serve jail time or serve as much jail time. Because he's in there for possession of a weapon. So he could have by all means went in there and talked his way out of that charge. But he took his bid. He took his bid. He didn't turn on Roddy. That's why Roddy Ricch is home. So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It happens. That's the streets.
6ix9ine, I'm sick of him.
I guess moving on to more like, I guess, other news. Nene, she finally officially announced that she will not be returning to Housewives of Atlanta. A lot of people been throwing shots at her and being shady towards her, which I don't understand. Like, I've never been into the Housewives shows, but from what everybody has said, Nene did make that show. So why throw shots at her?
And not saying that they didn't pick up the casting didn't get better, but them first struggle years, even now with like a good cast, I'm like, Nene still come through with them one-liners.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, you got to think about it. I'm like, from child of ghetto, I said what I said. I'm like, this all Nene.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I definitely think it's unfortunate, but I think it happened before in the past. I can't remember what season. I'm thinking it was like 9 or something like that, where she didn't return because it was like negotiation talks had kind of broke down, and they had to bring her back on because I'm like, bro, I can't see it. like she brought something to the show. Like even though everybody had a drama and all this stuff like that, she still brought something to the show that I think was different, and she's unique in that where she bring drama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's not necessarily all fake or something like that. So she definitely brings it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this season go. Normally I'm like 2 or 3 seasons behind, so I might actually watch this one just to see how. And they have so many new people that I'm just not sure if this gonna work.
Yeah, I don't think that from what the people have said that when she doesn't appear on the show, where she's not on the show, the ratings don't do as well. So I just want to see if if it'll survive without her being tied to the show in any way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we shall see.
They get new people.
Yeah, we shall see what comes of that whole situation. Also, kind of in a wait and see, I guess. Your boy Kanye back on his rants and all of that. There's so many things that he's been saying. The obviously stemming from that, the divorce rumors are flying again. That him and Kim K, that Kim is kind of fed up with the whole situation, and that she's just waiting for him to kind of recollect himself again, come out of his episode, and she's going to serve him with a divorce. Who knows? That's a wait and see. But aside from that, like, what did you think of the rants and all of that jazz?
I do agree with Boosie Boo that he needs to leave Drake out of it, because I just don't get why he keeps calling his name. Even Jay-Z out of it, because it's like, bro, whatever relationship y'all had, it's not there no more. And I don't think Jay-Z is on the rekindling, and like, just let it go. Now I did agree with like he was talking about the publishing deals and all that. That part I did agree with, because I was like, I do think the language in a lot of contracts is what make people head spin. And I don't think you necessarily, like, I think you should hire an attorney just to make sure that, it's in your best interest. But I don't think you should have to hire an attorney to fucking interpret the document for you, like break it down line for line, because the language is so fucking fucked up. I've always thought that about any legal or government document. I'm like, why the fuck y'all write laws like this? Just say what the fuck it is that you're trying to say, without all these words and therefore, and what are you trying to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, speak to me in layman terms and make it, cool, because I'm like, it's not 2 attorneys that are signing a contract, it's 2 regular people. So I just think, I did agree with him with that. I agree with, like the royalties, and you shouldn't be, like a slave to record companies and all this stuff. So that part I did agree with. But a broken clock is what is it? A broken clock is right twice a day or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about all that I have for it. So other than that, like if I was Kim, I don't know how I would feel, because I'm like, it's marriage and it's not so much. It's like, oh, you could just hop out of it that easily. You got a lot to think about as far as your assets, your children. But gosh, damn.
Yeah. I'm with you. I don't know how much I could take of it, because it seemed like every other week he's having an episode. You know what I mean? Every other week. I don't know how. I mean, you got to give that woman some credit, because I don't know if I could sit with it, especially when you know that he's making the decision not to seek help, to take his medication. You know what I mean? Like, if you know that, that's got to be like boiling her in her inside. Like, goddamn, just take your meds, or just, you know what I mean? Like, just do what you're supposed to do. We got kids. You know what I mean?
And if you don't take your meds, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You all on like social media. I'm like, and who gave him his Twitter back?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But we shall see. Again, it's more of a kind of wait and see as far as their situation is concerned. We'll see if the rumors are true, if she does file for divorce, which we have been seeing a lot of during this whole pandemic. And another relationship that has kind of taken, I guess the pandemic has taken its toll on is Offset and Cardi B. This recently, I want to say sometime last week, Cardi B officially filed for divorce from Offset. I will say that I don't think some people said they were surprised. I don't feel like I wasn't surprised by it because let's be honest, Offset was running around putting his little thing and everything. And one thing Cardi B is not, she's not a dummy. So I couldn't see her sitting around for too much longer with him, every other week, a new cheating rumor popping up or this type, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't see her just sticking it out. She's still 27? She's still young, thriving in the middle of her career. So I don't know if I was too shocked by it. I may have given them maybe another year or two, but salute.
But I kind of figured. I think when they first got together, I was like, I felt like when everything settled down because they were when they got married, it was like they were both like hype, like they had a lot of concerts and all of this and touring. And I'm like, once you sit down and you like, okay, I gotta, actually take a look at this person and like what they're doing and everything is not so fast paced and all this. And I'm like, and you just get tired of being fucking embarrassed. I'm like, his side chick was on the internet fucking crying, be like, but you weren't crying when you were sleeping with him. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. I hate this. Like, don't do that. Like, to me, now that is like ultimate clout chasing. Because I'm like, for one thing, you knew he was married. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You can Offset. Also, Cardi B is right there. So I'm like, for you to get on the internet and start crying, I'm like, this shit is fucking embarrassing. You already had me fighting girls or had somebody fighting girls in a club about you. And here we are right here, back in this BS again. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not mad at her. I'm like, it's messed up because I'm like, they have a child together, but I wasn't shocked. Like,
good decision in my book. Only let a man embarrass you so many times. You know what I'm saying? So good decision for her in my book. Like I said, she's still young, still thriving in the middle of her career. Go on, girl, do your thing. I would like to see though how the music plays out on her end because QC was definitely a strong factor in her success. You know what I mean? Like they played a pretty big factor as far as like the records, the writing, the production and all of that. I definitely think Atlantic is definitely not going to let her, slip. But I wonder how different the music is going to, sound now that she's not going to have that same production and same access to the same kind of production and writing and all of that jazz as far as her behind the scenes is concerned.
We don't see because we already see the speech part is kind of not there. We're like, so why y'all didn't coach her for a walk? But
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with WAP, I feel like it's been number one for like the past 3 weeks. So I mean, somebody listening to it,
I thought I would listen to it more. I had downloaded on my playlist and everything, and I hadn't even went back to it. Sucks.
Yeah. I didn't. I'll be honest. I'll be the first to admit I didn't think it was going to have staying power. I didn't think it was going to continue to stay at number one, especially with Drake dropping a record. I thought Drake's record would have at least picked up and hit number one. It hasn't hit number one yet. It's been blocked by BTS and by WAP. So I assumed that I was like, ain't no way it's going to have stay because to be honest, like I said, I didn't care for the record. I told you because I didn't like the sample, and the verses just didn't hit for me. But again, some people are clearly listening to it. It's staying up there, it's streaming high. So you can't hate on the girls. They doing their thing, making the money.
Yeah, I'm happy for my girl Meg always. So
yeah. So for other hot topics, do we have anything else left in there?
I don't think so. Nope, that was all I had.
All right. So moving on then to our relationship portion of the show. This week's relationship question that I have for you is, what relationship advice would you give your single friends to help secure the relationship that they want?
I'm trying to think. I would say be comfortable with yourself. I think that helps where you're still, I guess, kind of like, I don't want to say independent. That's not the right term. But just being comfortable in yourself where you're like, I enjoy my own company, because I think that makes people enjoy you more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not like, oh, this person likes me and I'm just all in and I'm gonna get them all my attention and everything's going to be all about them. It's like you prioritize yourself first. And I think that's important in relationships. And it's like, hey, you're not the end all be all. Like, I'm still, my own person.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Some good advice. I guess on my end, I would honestly say my advice would be not to settle. Because I think a lot of times that when you're single and you've been single for a long time, you tend to just, especially with kind of the society pressures of, oh, you're getting older and you only have so many years for children and for marriage and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? All those kind of society pressures and expectations that they place on women's shoulders, but never on men's shoulders. I feel like at times that can cause women to kind of settle for something that they don't want. It can force them into relationships that they don't want to be in, because they feel like that, hey, that's what I'm supposed to do. It can put you in situations that you don't necessarily want to be in your relationship spaces. So I would say, my best advice would be, don't settle. Just keep, if you know what you want, if you know what you're looking for out of life, if you still, if you want to be focused on your career and you want to still continue to enjoy being single, then do that. If you are ready, to be married and you're ready for family, then prioritize that. And don't let people shame you into thinking, oh, you're too young to be worried about family or being married. You can, because again, at any age, whenever you're ready, whatever you feel like you want out of a relationship, then I say go for that. Don't settle for what society tells you you're supposed to do or not do. Don't settle in general out of loneliness or basically out of loneliness shit. But yeah, that's my advice. That's the advice I would give.
That's good advice. Very good advice. And it's so much modern medicine today and stuff that insurance companies and jobs are paying for. You have options.
Yeah, agreed. And there are plenty of babies out there in foster care who need families. So, at the end of the day, even if you feel like you don't want to have a biological child, you could always adopt. You could always foster. I mean, there's so many, like you said, so many different options available to you, whether it be surrogacy, there's so many options, so many different options.
Yep. Agree.
All right. So that is it for the relationship portion of the show. Any type of like new music, books, TV, anything that you just want to put out there in the space?
Nothing new for me. Yeah, nothing new. Oh, I have picked up watching Fatal Attraction. Oh, hate it. Yeah, so I started watching it like years ago, and now I'm back to it. So, um, yeah, I watched like this crazy episode about this lady that like killed this guy, and she like faked her own death, wrote a fake notice to get out of prison early. It was a whole mess. But yeah, I've picked up Fatal Attraction, so that's like my deal now.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I've never been able to get into shows like that. Just for the simple fact that I always be like, man, folks is out here really strange. It just make
Listen,
you look at people differently. So I'll be like, I can't be watching these shows.
so like, well, I'm like, why did you do that? And then you also like, but with her, I'm like, damn, she kind of finessed though.
Yeah.
Like people didn't know this man was there for like a long time. I think it was like almost a year. They didn't even know that he was dead. And like, how do you forge a letter from the judge? I would be scared to do that alone. Like, this has to be like a federal offense or something. So, yeah, but sometimes I'd be like, I just don't get it. I'm like, maybe because I don't have that type of mind. I'm like, why are you doing this? But I still watch it.
All right. Well, anything else?
No, nothing else for me.
All right. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and jump directly into the nerd moment of the week. This week, the nerd moment is mostly going to be centered in the gaming community, but I do have one quick announcement as far as in the DC world. It has been confirmed as of today that Supergirl season 6, which should be beginning filming within the next couple of weeks, will be ending after season 6. Most people thought that it would go to 7 seasons just because of the simple fact that the majority of those shows they signed a 7-year deal. But I think that a lot of people also felt like the writing was on the wall, with Melissa Benoit getting married this year, getting pregnant pretty quickly. You know, with their schedules, they all they film in Vancouver. They have to stay in Vancouver for significant amount of months out of the year, away from their normal lives and their families, and especially with kind of dealing with COVID and everything like that. Now they're going to have to kind of be in those little bubbles and everything like that. It was pretty much, I feel like the writing was on the wall a little bit that she was gonna, move on and really kind of focus more on her family and maybe Broadway and things of that nature. So to the Supergirl fans out there, the show is ending after this year, so be prepared for that. And also, on the Amazon update, The Boys were at episode 6. As I told you guys, I'm gonna wait until the season is over so that I don't give any type of spoilers before I do my review on it. But what I have learned from you guys, with our numbers and in regards to our reviews, that you guys really do like those reviews, because our show last week, when I did the review on P-Valley, hit some pretty big numbers. So it seems like you guys really enjoyed that aspect of the show. So we'll try to bring more kind of reviews into the show as new seasons kick off and pick up. But yeah, so I will be doing that review once The Boys season ends. And then also on the gaming front, unless you're living under a rock, then you should know that the PS5 is on pre-order. They started last week. It's priced at $500. Well, $499, basically $500. They have a digital version that is priced at $399, so $400. And the actual release of the PS5 will be November 14th, I think. Yeah, November 12th. I'm sorry. So if you were able to get in on the pre-order, from what I understand, it was really hectic and really crazy, and some people weren't able to get their pre-orders in. But hey, if you were able to get in, then good luck to you. If you weren't, or if you're still trying, maybe you'll have better luck when they're released on the 12th. Also, the new Xbox pre-orders, they started today, September 22nd. And they also will have 2 different series. The Xbox X series, it's going to be $500, and the S series is going to be $300, and they will officially be released on November 10th. So get your coins up, all you gamers out there, because it's pretty expensive out here for all of you guys. And that's it for me as far in regards to the nerd moment of the week. And is there anything else on your end, Falan DeAnn?
Nothing else on my end.
All right. So then, per usual, I want to thank you guys for listening to the show and supporting the show. I do want to also let you guys know that we have been added to the Amazon Music podcast roster. So if you have Amazon Music or you have an Alexa device, just go ahead and say, hey, Alexa, please play Pretty Nerdz podcast, and you can go ahead and listen to us right there on your little Echo or Alexa app through Amazon Music. We have been added to the iHeart family. So if you have iHeart Radio, iHeart Podcast, and you can also listen to us there as well as all of your other favorite, podcast apps, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. We're everywhere, man. We're everywhere. So per usual, though, thank you guys so much for listening and supporting, and we hope you have a great rest of your night. Good night, guys.